Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike, and today we are going to go through what's happened and where we are going to go. But unlike Scotland against Germany in Euro 2024, we are not going to celebrate a corner. We are not going to get stuffed 5-1. We're going to see how we can benefit from where the market is today. So if you are new here, welcome to the show. We stream every day at 11 a.m. Central European Time, Monday to Saturday, of course. We then have our stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe, which is the trading show. So make sure you follow us, you hit the subscribe button, you do everything you can do to stay in touch with us. We are going to go through what's happened. We have got a slight change to the show. We are not going to do the show as it is. I'm going to start off after we've done the X-Files by going into this correction. How far down are we going to go? Are we going to see a $45,000 Bitcoin? Is it over? Should you all start crying into your cereal? Should you all feel sorry for yourself? Or should you see this as an opportunity to buy coins that you couldn't afford a month ago? That's what we're going to go through today. We're going to go through lots of things. We're going to go through China getting back into Bitcoin mining. We're going to go into Ethereum interest. We're going to go into Tether launching a gold-backed dollar. We're going to look at Litecoin. I know Tariq is a big Litecoin fan. I know he just wants to sell it when it goes up, but you know, we call him the Litecoin Maxi. We then look at Hershey's final kiss, which didn't fit. Doodles have gone based. And then we're going to give you our final thoughts. Laugh now, but $74,000 is just around the corner. Bottom left-hand corner, we are nearly at 139,000 followers. And you know what happens after that? 140,000 is on the cards. Hopefully sometime before the end of this week. You never know. So remember, if you are in chat, it's really important that you type hello, you say hello, because it gets the algorithm to realize that people are watching us. And also smash the like button, love hearts, all of those good kind of things. Good morning to Chris. Good morning, Hidden. JC is in chat. And of course, we have Velvet Rope is back again. Good morning to you. The question of the day is, will we see $45,000 in the next few weeks? That is the question of the day. So far, 88% have said no and 12% have said yes. We will have a look at the charts and see where we are likely to go. Now, of course, we have to wait a while for people to get into chat these days because people do come in and watch the show. Unlike when we first started and we'd have Kishan and it'd be ourselves and Kishan in chat talking away to ourselves an hour a day, an hour at a time. Now, let's go through the markets then. We are bleeding everywhere. Market cap is down 2%. Not a good sign. Volume is just under 100 billion. Dominance again is it's slowly but surely going up 72%. That's what we're going to get into that in a minute as well. As you can see, Bitcoin is coming in at 65.7. Ethereum is coming in at 34.4. You think these are bad prices? You forget the time I said that if Ethereum goes above $3,000 and stays there, I will eat my hat. We're at $3,400. I still haven't eaten my hat. It is going to happen. But just take a step back and realize these are not bad prices. Prices that potentially could come are going to be even better to buy in at. So BNB is down just below $600. Solana has taken a battering. Solana is the Scotland of crypto today. It really is taking a hammering. It's broken that $142 mark. It's down to $138. We're going to have a look at some of the charts. Again, the agenda is kind of going out the window today because so many other things are happening. Now, the XRP news that the case against the SEC is likely to be over is holding the price of XRP back above 50 cents. XRP is again at Ondo, one of my new favorite coins, one of my new shiny toys is Ondo. That's at $1.12. Not long ago, that was at 70 cents. So even though we've had retracements on some of these coins, They are still way above where they were a few weeks ago. And you know it's a bad day when you see stablecoins in the top gainers of the day. Losers, this is where we can pick up some absolute bargains. This is where you go bargain hunting. This is where you go and get the copy of Scotland's 1990 World Cup campaign, which, as you know, is about 12 minutes long. But this is where you go bargain hunting. I wouldn't be picking many of these out. I'm not a fan of Phantom, certainly not a fan of WorldCoin. Ethena, I'm not a fan of either. Celestia, I remember we were talking about Celestia bouncing between, I think it was 12 and 18 and 12 and $19. And I said at the time, I think Celestia is being driven by the airdrop hype. We're now looking at $6.60 for Celestia. It's absolutely crushed. I don't know whether I would be holding Celestia right now. I don't know whether it's a good price to get in at. I'm not sure on Celestia. Chiliz, I'm not a fan of. Don't like fan coins at all. Dog with Hat. Remember, Dog with Hat was up over $5 billion at one point. I said it was overvalued. It has come crashing down just over $2 billion in price. Filecoin, again, has been hammered for months now. Filecoin has been on the decline. Starknet, again, one of these airdrops to the Ethereum community, that is also down 12%. There's so many losers today. I mean, really is. It's like looking at the Scotland 1 to 11. Jupiter, again, great price. Anything under $1 for Jupiter. The fair value for me for Jupiter is 150. I think it can go to 250, but 150, you're getting it at half price. Don't look at, this is not the end. You're going to be seeing these shillfluencers telling you that crypto is finished. That was the bull run. It's over. We're all going down for the next 3 years from here. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. We've not even got started. When we get on to talking about the crash, I'm going to explain why it's nonsense. So there's too many losers for me to keep going through, but there are some good coins down here. Uniswap is a good buy. Jupiter is a good buy. Bonk is a good buy. It's down at 1.4 billion. Audi, a great buy. Flow, Pyth. I mean, Pyth is down at 30 cents. I mean, really, that's a super coin. So there's lots of opportunities to pick up. The question is, do you wait for lower prices? Do you wait for us to go down even further? Are we going to see more to the downside? Well, we're going to have a look at that in a little bit. After we've done some X-Files, let's have a look. Enough of the Red Sea. Let's go and have a look and see what other people have to say. Just back from 2 weeks travel and chuckling how a sideways consolidation has turned parts of crypto Twitter into a rage-infested mob baying for instant banana gratification and turning on each other. Ho hum! Patience is a virtue, it's all noise. Absolutely. Good morning, Jenny, and welcome back. I hope you are doing well. Good morning, Tariq. We have a special section for you today. I should just call it Tariq time. My portfolio is down 30%. Yes, I imagine most people's portfolios are down about that. I think I am down about $100,000. It hurts. It hurts an awful lot. But it's like having your teeth pulled. It hurts the first few times, and then you kind of get used to it. So it happens. Remember the thing in anything, in stocks, shares, crypto, your house. You only make a profit or a loss when you sell. That's the key. If you don't sell, you don't lose. Now the question is, are you holding on to bags of coins that are not going to recover from this correction? Probably not. Probably holding on to sensible coins. So if you did buy Solana at $200 and we're now at 140, you will be down 30%. But Solana is a long hold. Ethereum, Bitcoin, the big coins, the coins that get wrecked. Somebody mentioned in chat yesterday about a coin that had, I don't know if it's a $50 or $60 million market cap. At this stage of the market, I'm not buying coins below $1 billion, really, in market cap. This is the time to get the coins that are going to take you to your 5, 10, 20x's. And those coins are not going to be the ones, for me, that are in the 50 and 60 millions. They are great projects, but at times like this, when the market is correcting, they will be trashed. And if you really love those coins, you'll be able to get them maybe at 50% of what they were a few weeks ago. Now then, this is one of the reasons I think what's happening is happening. Whales have sold 50,000 Bitcoin between June the 5th and June the 15th. And they've bought 700,000 Ethereum. Not quite the same amount, but again, kind of over the same period of time. Why are they doing that? Because the Ethereum ETF is going to go live. And what will happen to the price of Ethereum? Are we going to see $5,000? Are we going to see even $6,000 at this stage? Possibly. What do you think these whales will do? We hit 5,000, we hit 5,500, we hit something along those lines, and guess what? They will sell their Ethereum straight back into Bitcoin. They are playing a game, and that game is accumulating sats, Satoshis. They want to buy that Ethereum because they know it's a faster horse over the next 2 months. They're going to hold, they're going to ride that horse, and then when Ethereum breaks up out of its decline against Bitcoin, they will sell the top, go to Bitcoin, and that's where they will be able to pick up more Bitcoin than they've got today. So that 50,000 Bitcoin, they've sold that in the hope that when they sell their 700,000 Ethereum in 2 months' time, they may be able to buy back 65,000 Bitcoin. That's what they're doing. They're not selling their Bitcoin because they think it's going into decline. They can see an opportunity to move out of Bitcoin, jump on a faster horse, race for 2 months, and then get back on the safer horse. That is what they are planning on doing. That's what they're going to do. Now, Bitcoin, this is a good little video. DZ shared this, and I like this. So this is Bitcoin expectations. We go straight from 54 to $1 million. Nice and clean. What actually happens is we hit that ramp at 73,000 and we go straight to 65,000. That's what really happens. There is nothing smooth about being in Bitcoin. You are in a car with no safety belt, with no shock absorbers, and we're asking you to drive along cobbles. That is what we are doing. And unfortunately, it's never a smooth ride. We will have periods of time where I will come on here and you'll all be happy because Bitcoin is now at $90,000 and $95,000, and we need to enjoy that. But remember, markets generally only go up 30% of the time. So 70% of the time, you are sad. If we went to $80,000 tomorrow, and then we spent 4 weeks going from $80,000 to $70,000, you would feel the same as you feel today. At $120,000, if we spent 3 months going from 120 to 100,000, you'd feel the same way. We were at $15,000 for Bitcoin, $20,000 for Bitcoin. People were calling for sub $10,000, and you were feeling the same way. This sense that you have, this dread that you have in your stomach, is because you think it's all over. But that's the same feeling you get when you get to the top of a roller coaster and you come down. You have all the excitement of going up, and then you come crashing down. And that, unfortunately, is just the way it's going to be. And you have to get used to that feeling. And believe you me, it's not a nice feeling. As I said, I've been through 3 bear markets. Horrendous. This will probably be my 3rd bull run. They're never nice. And then you get the odd day where it's beautiful and everything's green and everything's up 10, 15, 20%. But those days where it goes up 20%, for every day it goes up 20%, it might take 2 weeks to retrace 10%. So for every 1 good day, you have 14 bad days. So don't worry too much about these days. We're really not that low. Now then, very quickly, stablecoin market. Why is this important? Why am I showing you the stablecoin market? Because some interesting milestones. Polygon, which never moves. Polygon has become a stablecoin. This is where the liquidity is in crypto. So when you look for projects to buy into, you should be buying into projects that are on these chains. Okay? Optimism, Polygon, Avalanche, Solana, Base, Arbitrum, the Smart Chain, Tron, Ethereum. That's where the liquidity is. If you're buying a project, so if you come on here and say, I've got this really good project, it's really, really cool, and it's on Osmosis. Well, there's no money on Osmosis. How is the value of that project going to go up? You want to look for the heavy hitters. You want to look for buying projects on the Smart Chain, on Arbitrum, on Solana, on Base, on Avalanche, and on Polygon. Now, Polygon is the most underrated layer 2 on Ethereum I think I've ever seen. Considering what they are doing with the AG layer, considering all of their partnerships, it's massively undervalued. But always look at where the liquidity is, the stable coin liquidity, the USDC, the USDT, and soon it will be Pive USD, soon it will be, who else? XRP are going to launch their USD. Look for liquidity, and obviously you're going to buy a lot of these projects on your exchange, which is fine, but this is where the money is flowing around in DeFi, and obviously Ethereum is the silverback, but you have other chains. I mean, there's $4 billion on Arbitrum, there's $3 billion on Base, there's $3 billion on Solana. There's still a lot of money swishing around out there to take advantage of some of these projects. Now, very quickly then, before we get on to the crash, let's see what the next one is. So, very quickly, this was going to be the nice little intro into China. The top tokens were pretty much mostly meme coins. Now, Bear, we covered Bear. I made a video about Bear. I like the project. The issue with it is that somebody sold $10 or $30 million of the token and it absolutely dumped the price. So Bear was up there. Mother, of course, Iggy Azalea's coin is up there. GME, obviously we've got whatever is called Rabid Rabbit, or whatever that guy is called, is up there. Zach, I know nothing about, and Whiff is up there as well. So the majority of Solana's activity is in meme coins. And a lot of you are going to say, yeah, but when the meme coins leave, Solana will die. No, Solana always has a current thing going on. It can be meme coins, it can be NFTs, it can be airdrops, it can be farming. There's always an activity on Solana. That's what makes it exciting. And that's the key to Solana. There's always something to do. Now, you might not like these meme coins. They might trash your portfolios. You might think they're scams. I mean, we've got Daddy as well with Andrew Tate. That's probably going to go to $300 million in the next few weeks. Would I buy Daddy? I'd have to look at the price. But Daddy is a coin that I'd buy. Why? Because it has all the hype in the world around it, and fundamentals don't matter when it comes to certain coins. So look at Mother, but look at Daddy. For me, I think it will run. Other coins to look at that are going to start popping into here. There is a rumor that Donald Trump has launched his own meme coin. And because it's a rumor, I'm going to say nothing more about it because I don't want to tell you about something that I don't know is true. And that's the problem. So if it does turn out to be official, I will let you know. I would not advise you to front run it and go out and find it yourself and buy it, because there doesn't appear to be, some of the fundamental things that you have on coins haven't happened yet. So it could very well be a rumor to get you to buy the coin so people can dump on you. We shall see. Now, we're going to get on. We're not going to talk about China at the minute. We are going to talk about this. Now, I know a lot of you are on mobile phones, so I'm going to try and make this a bit bigger so you can see. And these are the liquidations, which are not going to sit very well because you can't see them. However, I will talk you through on the right hand side 24-hour liquidations, $455 million of liquidations, $400 million of longs, and $62 million of shorts. Somebody in Telegram yesterday said it's a trap, and it was a short squeeze, and it was. It squeezed the shorts to the upside. We got to nearly 67,000. Then what happened is we came absolutely bounding straight back down, broke 66 at 4 o'clock this morning. So it happens. It happens. Now I think we're getting a little bit of lag. Can you let me know in chat if we are all okay? But I think we are lagging a little bit. So we've had nearly $500 million in liquidations. Now I've got 3 reasons in my head why we are where we are and why we are at this stage. And I'm going to take you through them slowly. Now, the first one, which we never really cover until it's too late, and this was the CME gap. We had a CME gap, and that CME gap was closed yesterday, and we came all the way down to 65.9, and we closed the CME gap. I can never say it. It's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME gap. Thanks, Chris. And we closed it yesterday. So that's one of the reasons we wicked down. Good morning, Bullish Bull. Welcome back to the stream. That's one of the reasons we wicked down. The liquidations do not help, because liquidations, the leverage in the market is horrific. And what happens is, we're going to get onto the Bitcoin chart in a minute, and I'm going to show you. But first of all, there is something majorly dramatic about to happen in the world of Bitcoin. And that is this. We have been on this upward rise. And we topped out, if I zoom in as far as I can, we topped out at 56.3%. 56.3% Bitcoin dominance. We're currently at 56.23%. And yes, we did wick above that, admittedly. Now, why is this so important? Why do people keep ranting on about Bitcoin dominance as if it's some kind of magic elixir? The reason is very simple. Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the overall market. How much money for every $100, $56 is in Bitcoin. That's why it matters. Bitcoin really is the only cryptocurrency apart from Ethereum. The rest of them are shrapnel. So Bitcoin dominance goes on a run. It takes out everything, okay? It's like a rhino charging through that Scottish defence. They just part. It's like parting of the waves, okay? Those Scottish defenders, they fall left, right, and centre, and that rhino, that hippo just goes straight through. And what happens is we get to a certain point where the liquidity gets drained from all the alts back into Bitcoin, because in crypto, Bitcoin is the flight to safety. If you think your portfolio is going to go down, you have 2 choices. You sell to the US dollar or you sell to Bitcoin. The majority of people will not sell to US dollar. They will sell to Bitcoin. It is a flight to safety. If there is conflict or if there is a pandemic, people buy gold. The price of gold goes up. It's a store of value. It's a flight to safety. In crypto, it's the same thing. Now, as Bitcoin starts to gather momentum, as we go into this bull run, you know the bull run that everyone's told you is finished? It's not even started, okay? The bull run primarily starts 6 months after the halving. That's October. We're in June, okay? Keep your knickers on, calm down, stop telling people that the end is nigh. The end isn't nigh. We've only just begun, in the words of Carol Carpenter. Now, what is important here is, are we going to touch this 56.32 and have a little bit of a wobble and come down? We did it here, we failed here, Are we going to break it? Are we going to break it? That's the question. It looks like I've drawn 666 on the screen. I need to get rid of that very quickly. So that's the next level. Now, of course, we have this trend line, which isn't really a trend line, but we've got some figures up here. 57%. And for those of you that care, I have got my target of 60% for Bitcoin to top out. And that is the Bitcoin dominance. Now, Kabir has come back into chat. Kabir is one of those that think we're going to go to $57,000. The bears are back, Kabir. Yes, we know. We know. There is a question, if you'd like to answer it today, Kabir. Will we see $45,000 in the next few weeks? It swung. It was 88% say no. Now it's 65% say no, 35% say yes. So Kabir has obviously come into chat, riled everybody up, scared everybody, and made them all think we're going to go down to the floor. Good morning, Solo Sky. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin dominance is starting to rise as a result of some of these things. We spoke about the Dixie X yesterday. That's why we were crashing. Or that's why there's a correlation between the Dixie getting weaker and Bitcoin going up in value. We've looked at the liquidations. The liquidations are not helping anybody, right? We've looked at the CME gap. That's now closed. That was at 65.9. That's now closed. So the three reasons that I think we are in this situation. Number one, leverage. And whales playing games with longing and shorting the market. The bears have taken over. Number two is miners. After the halving, the miners only get 50% of what they were getting. So the cost per Bitcoin doubles. Some of the miners fall away to one side. They can't afford to run anymore. It becomes unprofitable. So miners are dumping. They're wetting the bed. They're in that hot air balloon and they're trying to get over the Alps and they're throwing everything they've got out. All that Bitcoin is getting thrown out of the basket to try and get them up above the mountain to make it to the other side, which is October. What happens then? The Bitcoin difficulty level adopts to the drop in miners and it becomes easier to mine, and that allows them to mine and get back into the market. And when they've sold all of their Bitcoin and they have no more Bitcoin left to sell, guess what happens? There is a supply shortage and that pushes the price up. And by October, we will see that. So leverage, miners, and money coming into the market. Where is the money coming into the market? Because I've already gone through the fact that whales are selling Bitcoin to buy Ethereum because they know the ETF is coming. Okay? Because they know the ETF is coming, they know they can buy that Ethereum and Ethereum will outstrip Bitcoin over the next few months. Then they'll sell the Ethereum. So expect a huge correction in Ethereum, maybe three or 4 months from now. And what do they buy with that? They're going to go back and buy Bitcoin. So we're going to see, at the minute, we've seen a direct correlation between selling Bitcoin and buying Ethereum. We are now going to see, in maybe September, we're going to see Ethereum being sold off and Bitcoin being bought. And that is going to be great for Bitcoin, not so good for Ethereum. But we won't care by then because Ethereum will be a lot higher than it is now. Now, here we are, 65.6. And we seem to be at the line that I've drawn. Hang on 1 second. This isn't my chart. This is my chart. There we go. 65.6. So, where are we going to go is the question. And there are lots of people telling you that we're going to go through the floor. And I don't think we are. Good morning, Solar Sky. Good morning, Danny. Welcome to the stream. Bitcoin ETFs have fast-forwarded 6 months in the cycle anyway. See, I don't think they have. What I think Bitcoin ETFs have done is inflate the price of Bitcoin, not artificially because they're a new demand, but they've broken the price of Bitcoin. If we'd fast-forwarded 6 months in price action, we'd also have to take into account the miners, which don't have any Bitcoin left to sell. That normally takes 6 months to flush out. So what I think we should be at today is we should be at somewhere between 50 and 55,000. I don't think we should be at 66, 67,000. So that extra 20% inflation is because these ETFs have come in and bought everything, which is what they've done. Now, are we going to see 58%? To see 58%, we're going to have to break the bull market support band. And we are going to have to come down to there. Now, if you go back to the start of this epic little run that we've been on, which started in, let's take it to February. What's the worst case scenario? That, for me, that's the worst case scenario. That takes us to $52,000. That's the worst case scenario. Okay. We break the bull market support band. We break some fib levels along the way. We break everything, in fact. Everything's smashed. The door gets broken down. Jack Torrance breaks through with the axe. It's all over. That's the worst case scenario for me, which I don't think we're going to happen. Now, we talk a lot on here about Bitcoin going up in steps, okay? And we talk about going up in steps because when we come down, what happens is you'll see an altcoin do this and everybody buys there. And I say to you, don't do that because it's going to retrace, because it needs to find its level of support because it's broken everything on the way up. And what normally happens with these coins is they come down to about here and they stay there for a while. And that's the time to buy. Now with Bitcoin, we don't need to worry about that because Bitcoin has all these lovely little steps on the way up. If you go back, if you look at Bitcoin, we do this. Yes, we do that, but we do this, okay? And we have all of these lovely little levels where we've had previous price action before. So if we need to hit the ugly tree at 52,000, let's put that there for now. So if we need to get to 52,000, what do we have to hit on the way down? Well, first of all, we have a volume area at 64. So we've got to break 64. Then further down, we've got the top of the bull market support band. Well, let's go to the bottom of the bull market support band because that coincides with all of this beautiful area here and here and here. So if we come to the bottom of the bull market support band, I need to stop drawing sixes on this chart. Where is it? There it is. There. That is coming in at 61,000. That's the bottom of the bull market support band. So we've got 64. Actually, that looks more like a... You know what? I'm going to leave that. So we've got 64. Then we've got 61. Okay? So we've got two good prices underneath us that have held in the past and offer a massive amount of support. Beneath that, where are we going to go down to? Well, we've got 58.4 down there, which we wicked down to. So you could argue, you know what, I'm just going to move all these around. We've got that one down there, which is 58. And that kind of ties in to what Kabir has said. And then beneath that, we've got 52. Now, that's a lot of ugly sticks to break in the ugly tree to get all the way down there. And I'm not talking about Colin Hendry. We've got a lot of things to get through. That's the bearish scenario. But we are starting to become very oversold. And when we become very oversold, we may see a relief rally. So what could happen is we break down to here, or even if we break down to here, what I would expect us to see is come straight back towards $66,000, $67,000 if we get down that far. Now, we are 102 days, I believe it's now 102 days into this sideways, downward, sideways period action. It doesn't go on forever. And again, nothing goes up or down forever. We are kind of still range bound between this $60,000 and $70,000 range. So rather than thinking we're going to go down and panic, we could literally just do this for the period of time it takes for miners to run out of Bitcoin to sell, for the Ethereum ETF to come in, and then we're up again. It's not, whenever people think we're going to go down, we go up. Whenever people think we're going to go up, we go down. That's why I say I don't have a crystal ball. We can recover from where we are in a matter of days. We can also wick down in a matter of days. If you think we went from 72,000 to 61,000 in 7 days, that's an $11,000 move in a week. We then went from 56,000, let's pick that one, to 15,000. That's a $10,000 move. We did that in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, a week, 15 days, whatever you want to call it, we can move $10,000 in Bitcoin. That's why I'm saying we can break 73,000 in a week. We can also break 60,000 in a week. I don't think we are, though. I don't know if you remember this period here where we were stuck for 12 days at 60,000, and we held the line. And I said, I don't think we're going to do that again. I don't think we're going to fall below it again. That 60,000 level, 60,000 level is massive support. We've had it and we've hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I think we'll hold 63. I think we'll hold 61. And then it all depends. When that Ethereum ETF comes out on July the 2nd, the market will turn bullish. We are only 2 weeks away. So I am not super upset at where we are. We're at 65.7. It's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Now, we are going to get on to some bullish news. Now that I've made you all feel so much better by telling you we're going to $52,000, it's now time to move on to the good news. And that is that Chinese telecom giant is to buy Bitcoin mining rigs worth $13.5 million. Now, why would they do this? Answer me that question. They put $13.5 million into this. That will buy them 2,700 mining rigs, and then they will deploy them in North America. Very interesting. A Chinese company is using a North American power structure to generate itself Bitcoin. It's like outsourcing your Bitcoin generation to another country. So according to the details, the publicly traded company recently divulged via a regulatory filing it acquired the new mining rigs from Yingwan Intelligent Technology, a firm based in Hong Kong. Coolpad did not disclose the rig maker. We know who the rig maker is anyway. The investment will increase their current computing power from 873,000 is that terahertz to 1.5 million. So the question is, we've talked about China coming back into crypto. We've also talked about Hong Kong being the conduit for that. We now have a Chinese telecom company buying Bitcoin miners to mine Bitcoin in America via Hong Kong. So this is clearly Chinese proxy Bitcoin mining. Why did China kick Bitcoin out of China? Because I don't think their power grid could support the amount that they were going to need. So they basically sent them all abroad. If you look at Kazakhstan and some of the other mining companies, they're all Chinese owned. If you look at the mining rig that was going to be built near a US Air Force base or military base, Chinese owned again. So China wants the Bitcoin, doesn't want to use its own infrastructure to generate the Bitcoin. It's a little bit like China having a farm or an actual mine in another country to tap its resources, except this resource is electricity rather than coal or diamonds or gold. So China might as well buy El Salvador. I think that's a very good call. Very good call. Right then, just give me a second. So rising Ethereum futures, open interest highlights impact of the SEC's ETF approval. We're going to move on a little bit. We are really quite late in the day. And we've got so much to get through. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can. Ethereum futures open interest has shown substantial volatility. Following the approval of spot Ethereum ETFs by the US SEC, open interest in Ethereum futures surged on June the 17th. Futures open interest across all exchanges neared 4 million ETH, coincided with the price move towards 3,600. Now, one thing to bear in mind about futures, and something that I haven't mentioned for a few weeks, is at the end of June, we have our monthly close. But June is a quarter, so we have a monthly close and a quarterly close at the end of June. But we also have the half-yearly close, the 6-month close. We're halfway through the year. So we have a monthly, a quarterly, and a half-annually close, all on the same Friday. So June the 30th is not a day to trade, other than maybe putting in some very low-ball offers on the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just putting that out there. It's always a wrecking ball of a day. We don't know what's going to happen. And what the whales try and do is they try and position the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum where it causes the least amount of damage to the market. Now, let's say that's $62,000 on June the 28th, whatever the last Friday is of June. The price of Bitcoin will be as close to $62,000 as it can be. If it's at $68,000, it will be as close to $68,000 as possible, or they'll try and get it there. So that's something that we will need to keep an eye on, and maybe we'll cover it next week. Next week will be the 25th, 26th of June. We'll cover it then. So futures are also an indication of how bullish people are about the price of Bitcoin and the price of Ethereum. The more futures that are out there, the more tickets that are out there, the more prices we see. That's the bullish aspect. Remember, you're buying Ethereum at a price you expect it to be less than by the end of this month. So you might see $3,200, $3,300, $3,400 for Ethereum. They're the different prices that people think they'll be able to buy Ethereum at. And sometimes people get wrecked, and sometimes they just don't get called. And it's massive volatility. It's probably as volatile, if not more volatile, than the FOMC meetings, in all honesty, because it can cause chaos. Right then, let's move very quickly on. Ethereum then. We are, since we got up towards $4,000, we have been in this very, I wouldn't call it nice, but very clear downward channel. And we are getting close to, yet again, another key level, which is there. And that is the bull market support band for Ethereum, which is coming in at $3,300. Do I think we can touch $3,300? Absolutely, we can. Now, I know we've got the Ethereum ETF coming, but back here, we spoke about Ethereum getting way too excited and moving too far away from the bull market support band for our liking. And we said we needed to wait for the bull market support band to catch up. I even compared it to the gates of Mordor, where you're charging in, you're 100 yards across the pebbles and the stones towards the orcs, and you look back and the army hasn't moved. And that's where we were there. And what had to happen was we had to hang out and wait here. And that causes impatience, and that causes some people to sell. You know, and we've had the Bitcoin correction as well. and we've been coming down. So I do think we're going to come down to 3,300 for Ethereum. I don't know how much further we're going to break down, because we literally have weeks before the Ethereum ETF. And because of that, we could have a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We could have, we could see something like this. So the next few days, we kind of wick down, we hit this line, then the Ethereum ETF news gets announced that it's going to go live on July the 4th, and what we will see is some kind of move all the way back up here. And then on the day it goes live, we do this, and we have a huge sell-off, because those whales that have bought 700,000 Ethereum possibly will want to sell back into Bitcoin. So we could see massive, massive price action with this Ethereum ETF. Remember, this is only going to happen once. And you might think I'm crazy to say that we're going to go from $3,300 to $4,000 in 3 days or 2 days. We went from the bottom there, it was 3,040. In 2 days, we went to 3,840. We did an $800 move in 2 days. If we did an $800 move in 2 days from today, that would put us at $4,300. So it is perfectly possible that that can happen. And I know most of you out there are bearish. Most of you think we're going to go to the dogs. But look at what is happening. Michael Saylor has just raised $700 million to buy more Bitcoin. BlackRock have already said that their advisors or their brokers that they talk to are not selling Bitcoin yet. We have an Ethereum ETF on the horizon. We're going to have a Solana ETF on the horizon. The Bitcoin shortage from the miners hasn't kicked in yet. And you're all sitting there feeling sorry for yourself with all of this good news. Look at the news of what's about to happen. Don't look at the charts. The charts are not telling you anything because they are being manipulated. Of course they're being manipulated. We know selling 50,000 Bitcoin in 10 days is going to suppress the price of Bitcoin. And we know that they're buying into Ethereum on the dip. 700,000 Ethereum is being bought on the dip. So it's not as if people are exiting the market. The money is on the sidelines waiting for the Ethereum ETF. There's no money coming in to buy the ETF because they're waiting. They're sitting on the sides. They're just waiting patiently. And I think they're going to wait for $3,300 and they're going to go nap and they're going to go all in. I think that is where we can see the price action going in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And it sounds bearish and it looks bearish, but if it looks like a bear, it smells like a bear, it dances like a bear, it's a bull. That is all I will say on the matter. When you expect it to go down, it goes up. And when you expect it to go up, it goes down. That is how they mess with your head. And I know this because they've been doing it since I've been in crypto, which is 7 years, and it took me 2 years to stop listening to them. Now, again, more bullish news. Tether has launched its own gold-backed synthetic dollar. This is what happened in America 100 years ago, in the UK also, maybe not 100 years ago, maybe it was 70 years ago. So Tether has launched Alloy by Tether, a new asset backed by Tether Gold, combines gold's reliability with a stable digital currency. Alloy by Tether features AUSDT, a digital currency pegged to the US dollar, over-collateralized by physical gold stored in Switzerland. Users can mint AUSD by depositing Tether Gold as collateral managed through transparent Ethereum-compatible smart contracts. Now, the question is, why would you want this? If it's a dollar backed by gold, it's always going to be a dollar. So why have they not just continued with their Tether backed by US Treasuries? Why have they moved to gold? The first token in the lineup is AUSDT, a digital currency that mirrors the value of $1 US. What sets it apart is the over-collateralization by Tether Gold, which means it's backed by real physical gold. Users can create this token. We know about this. The question is, why do you want it? Does the value of your dollar increase with the value of gold? Probably not. So are they trying to make money off your dollar by buying gold and then selling gold off as it appreciates in value and just keeping it in dollars? Over-collateralization is a crucial safety point. We know about this. Paolo Ardonio, CEO of Tether, expresses enthusiasm. "We're thrilled to announce the launch of Alloy by Tether, introducing a class of digital assets backed by gold and tethered to a reference fiat currency. While the stabilization mechanism is different compared to traditional options like USDT, this innovative solution marks an exciting milestone." I'm really not sold on this, to be honest. Not sold on it at all. I have seen and mentioned on here different tokens which actually appreciate in value. We covered one last week, if you remember, which was a dollar that increases in value because they pay you a percentage of the fees generated or interest generated. Not a fan of that one at all. Moving on then, Litecoin fundamentals indicate bullish momentum. I don't know about this. Let me get up the Litecoin chart. I don't think anything's got bullish momentum right now. I think we are all waiting on Mr. Bitcoin to give us an indication of where he's going to go. I mean, Bitcoin is like Forrest Gump, isn't he? He's gone for a walk, then he's gone for a run, and he's running down the motorway, and everyone's just following him. Then he stops, everybody else stops, and then he just walks off the road. Bitcoin decides what the market does. Now, we have covered Litecoin quite recently, and we have come down to this price area that we were at before, and we've got to this fib level at $73. And given the state of the market, I would not be surprised if, you know what, one day, I'd like to not click on the wrong thing and delete the wrong thing. So, we're below the bull market support band. Bad. We are heading towards this fib level. We have all of this price action from last year. I think we are going to do this. Now, not the only, but one of the most positive things we can look at, especially on the daily, is this. We are massively oversold. And if you look at previous times in the history of Litecoin, where we are similarly oversold, probably pick that one out as well, all the lowest ones I can find. What happens? Litecoin goes up. What happens? Well, Litecoin went up a lot, but that was more to do with the ETF news. But we can just say it went up a little bit. Now, I think if we're going to go with the bullish stance and we follow what we have seen and we have a relief rally, then we would see probably us coming up towards $82, which is the bull market support band, $81, $82. So there is relief, and that would be a 10% move, 11% move, 12% move for Litecoin. I've looked at the chart before I've seen what the fundamentals say. We better go back to here, hadn't we? So the number of total addresses on the Litecoin blockchain increased steadily from 283 million to 287 million. That's 511,000 new addresses on June the 4th, 650,000 on June the 13th. So there is more network activity, which is a good thing, because remember, some of these coins are dubbed zombie chains. You know, Cardano has been called a zombie chain, Litecoin is called a zombie chain. They're not technically zombie chains because they're being used. Litecoin is super quick and super cheap to send transactions on. It's just as good as anything else. So Litecoin for me, yes. Not a fan, but there will be a rally. So is there any price action on this? Or is it literally just talking about the number of actions on here? Yeah, basically, for me, I think we're going to see a relief rally towards $81, $82. If we sink any further because Bitcoin isn't happy anymore, I think we're going to see $70 broke, go down to 69, 69.50. Worst case scenario, $63. And remember, every time we've come down to $63, we have come straight back. So if you can buy Litecoin at $63, I think that is a great price. $63, $64, $65, that's a great price. But I'm not expecting it to get there. I am expecting a relief rally at some point. But it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 days. I think what's going to happen is we're going to be taken by surprise by some news from the market. Remember, Saylor's going to go out and buy 12,000 Bitcoin today or tomorrow. He's going to go buy 12,000 Bitcoin. That is going to make a dent in the market, and that could be the relief rally that we want to see. Now then, my favorite headline of the day is this one, and it was too long to include. It was supposed to be Hershey's last kiss, because as we all know, the American sweet is called Hershey's, and he has stepped down. David Hirsch, the chief of crypto asset and cyber unit, steps down after 9 years. He praised his team's historic work and highlighted the importance of collaboration in securities. His departure creates a notable vacancy as the SEC faces ongoing challenges in cryptocurrency regulation. David Hirsch has gone, and some people have seen this as bullish news. It is kind of bullish news, but the thing is, when you remove somebody like this, it doesn't necessarily mean the person coming into the position is going to be any better or any nicer. We all call for Gary Gensler to be removed because we don't like him. He's a lizard man, he's got little blinky eyes, he's got a bald head, we don't like him. And the biggest reason I don't like him is that he was so bullish on Bitcoin and crypto when he taught it at university. He was mega bullish on HBAR, talked about how it could be used by Uber. He was mega bullish on Bitcoin. He had good friends, and then he became the head of the SEC, and clearly, because of political reasons, he became bearish. My issue is that he changed his spots, and whoever comes in after Gary Gensler can be as bad as Gary Gensler. That's the issue. So seeing this person step down, it's not bullish news. It just means that they're going to get somebody else in with added impetus, and they could just be as bad. Or the other way to look at it, if I'm going to try and be bullish, is Joe Biden wants to win this next election. He wants to be stay as the president of America. He's already approved the Ethereum ETF. He's already told Gary Gensler it has to happen. Potentially there's been conflict within the SEC. David Hirsch has said this is ridiculous. David Hirsch has been told he has to go, and Joe Biden advises them to put in a pro-crypto person into the SEC. That's another way of looking at it. If I'm going to put on my bullish rose-tinted spectacles, what time is it? 11:58. We've managed to get through. Kabir, I have said the same thing. The key for me was the Bitcoin ETF was an ETF for a proof of work blockchain. So the natural next step was Litecoin, the third biggest proof of work. That was the natural next step. And it never happened because the Ethereum ETF was approved because of the political pressure on Joe Biden. He needs to win this election. We never thought this election would be fought over crypto, but it has, and it is. So then we got the Ethereum ETF approved, which of course is proof of stake. And that was more of a defining moment than the Bitcoin one, because as we know, the majority of top 10 coins are proof of stake. We just have to go down the list. So before the Ethereum ETF was approved, what did we have? Bitcoin proof of work, Dogecoin proof of work. That was it. Were we ever going to see a Dogecoin proof of work? A Dogecoin ETF? Absolutely not. So, if BlackRock wants to get its hands on crypto, it has to break the back of the proof of stake ETFs. So what was next? Ethereum. So Ethereum is going to be the next ETF, and it showed to be the next ETF. I didn't expect this to happen until May next year. Change of government, new head of the SEC. I expected it next year. You're going down the list. You're not going to get BNB because of its connections. So you're going to get Solana. You'll get a Solana ETF. It's going to happen. Okay, then what happens? Do we get an XRP ETF? That's where it gets a bit of a grey area, because I don't think we do. Do we get a Cardano ETF? Possibly not. So what's next after Solana? That's going to be the big question. We know we're going to get a Solana ETF. Are we going to get a meme coin ETF? No, I don't think we are. Yeah, indeed, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe and give us a follow. It's really important, helps the algorithm. And at the minute, we are struggling with the algorithm. The reason we are struggling is because our videos are not being recommended. That is the reason I have found. So before May the 18th, our videos were recommended, and now they are no longer recommended. And that's the reason we've seen a drop off in traffic for our videos, not our live streams, but for our videos. So anyway, back to the case in point. I said yesterday that I think BlackRock are going for a tokenized stock exchange in Texas. And everybody has been looking at the fact that it's going to be stocks and shares. And nobody is looking at the fact that they will get the opportunity to list crypto on that stock exchange. If they do that, then they will be able to offer other services which are not necessarily going to fall under the guise of ETFs. Maybe a fund, maybe a different financial tool. All of those things are possible. So I am not sure what the next ETF is going to be. I think Litecoin would be a good choice, but we've gone off on a tangent. I think Litecoin is the next choice. People have also talked about Chainlink. It really does depend on where we're going to go, where we're going to go in the direction. Now, very quickly, we've got to 12 o'clock. Doodles is set to migrate Studio to the Base network. Now, this isn't so much about Doodles. This is more about Base. I've seen a lot of people pan Base. A lot of people, including some really big crypto shillfluencers, sorry, and they pan Base. Why do you need to? Why buy on Base when you can buy on Uniswap? Or why buy on Base when you can use the exchange? Why use Base at all? That's not an argument. You look at Cronos Chain, you look at the BNB Smart Chain, you look at Base. They are all DeFi-related platforms that stand on their own 2 feet. If Uniswap and Jupiter move to Base and add Base as an option, what's the problem? There isn't one. They will have their own native dexes, of course they will. You know, we've got WolfSwap on Cronos Chain, we've got Jupiter on Solana, doesn't really count. We've got Aerodrome on Base, so it has its own dex, but it gives people choice and it allows them to understand crypto. So this isn't so much about Doodles. I couldn't give a monkeys about this NFT project. What I care about is the migration to layer 2s. That's what's important. And you have to understand that Ethereum will not die. If every single project moves from Ethereum to a layer 2, it will make Ethereum stronger. You have to remember that Ethereum is going to become the computer of blockchain activity. But you don't need to use it directly. It's like the mainframe. And all of these layer 2s are like the dumb terminals that you plug into and the transactions get rolled up and put onto Ethereum. The less stress we put on Ethereum, the better. So when we see moves like this, moving to layer 2s, there's a massive benefit to Doodles of doing this because the transaction costs. I'll give you a good example. I sent, I don't know what it was, $3,000 last night from one exchange to another. And I sent it on Polygon. And it cost me 20 cents, 15p, 16 cents in euros, okay? And it took a minute, right? I used to send my transactions using Litecoin. I used to convert to Litecoin, send via Litecoin, or Tron was the other one. I would send it via Tron. And of course, that's why Tron's got so much stable coins so quick. But I don't need to do that anymore because I trust Polygon more.
because it's a layer 2 on Ethereum. So it took a minute, and it was there, and it was confirmed. 6 or 9 confirmations, whatever it was confirmed, done and dusted. Okay, so the issue for me is to see this as a positive move in crypto, not a negative move on Ethereum. We need to see these moves coming across, and that is the end. I'm not going to talk anymore about that kind of news. I'm going to tell you what is coming up over the next few days. This afternoon, in fact, in 45 minutes time, Brogan will be live streaming again. He will be live streaming a project, and he will be doing that on wherever we are. He might do a crypto show, a trading show tonight, maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock tonight. I'm running a poll, by the way. What's the best time for you guys to watch a trading show? Because we've tried it at different times and nobody's showing up. And clearly people want to watch it because they keep asking for charts and price action, whatever. So there's a few polls running, one on TG, Telegram, and one somewhere else. Just say when the best time is going to be. A Royal Rumble session. Yeah, exactly. So go and check out the polls. Go and answer the polls. I'm going to go. It's 12:06. We did actually manage to get through the entire show today, even though I threw in all the extra bits about Bitcoin. Final thoughts. Don't panic. I don't think... Kabir thinks we're going to go to 58,000. I don't think we're going to break 60. In fact, I think we're going to hold 63. I think we've got to the end of this correction. We're 100 and odd days in. I think the bullish news of the ETF is going to lift the market. We're oversold. We could go down further, but I think over the next few days, maybe Friday, maybe Tuesday next week, we're going to see a move back up. And remember, nothing goes down forever. And the way to view this is, if you've got coins which you wanted to buy, Near Protocol, Ondo, Render, Fetch, all the coins we talk about, Chainlink, if you want to get these coins, now is a good time to dollar cost average in. Maybe, let's say you have $100 to buy Chainlink with. Buy $10 every day for the next 10 days. And you might see 16, 15, 14, 13, 16, 17, 18, 20. But your average price coming out of that might be $14. So dollar cost averaging from about now is only going to benefit you in the future, because we all know the majority of these major good coins are going to go back up. We know Ethereum and Bitcoin. We know Solana, for example. We all know they're going to move back up. These are prices that you should look at as an opportunity to buy. If the average price of your Solana is $170 and you buy today at $135, the average price of your Solana will come down. If you buy tomorrow and Friday and Sunday and Tuesday at 130, 125, 135, whatever it might be, your average price of Solana will come down. This is the time to top up anything. Look at your portfolio. What are you missing in your portfolio? Do you have AI? Do you have all of the meme coins that you want? Do you have all your real world asset tokens? Do you have all your DEX tokens? Do you have all of your layer 1s and your layer 2s that you want to buy? Look at the tokens that you've got, see what you're light on, and go and dollar cost average into those coins. You're not going to have these prices this time next year. I can't guarantee that, but I'm pretty certain, I'm 95% certain you're not going to get these prices next year, because we will be moving towards the end of the bull run. And if we are at these prices next year, then God help us. But don't panic. It will keep doing this to you. We could rock up to $80,000 on the 1st of July and spend the rest of July doing nothing but going from $80,000 to $70,000. Just trust the process. Wait for the economics to kick in Bitcoin. Wait for the supply shock, and then wait for the prices to go up. And I am going to go. I will see you all in the morning
Maybe you'll see Brogan this afternoon. But until tomorrow, have a great afternoon. Don't worry. Don't sit there looking at the charts. Touch the grass. Look at the sky. See you all tomorrow. Thank you to Kabir, to Chris, to Danny, to all of you in chat. See you all in the morning. Take care.